Great. We will get on with our regular programming. Just to let you know that there is a briefing, closed consultations going on Sudan right now after the open meeting where the delegates heard from Volker Perthes, the SRSG. He has agreed to come to the stakeout afterwards, so we will let you know to take 2 questions and say a few words. We'll let you know when that happens. Just one more update on Afghanistan, which is to tell you that in the past few days, several UN road missions were successfully conducted from Mazar-i-Sharif to Maymana and from Kabul to Jalalabad. We, along with our partners, continue to deliver aid to millions of people in need, as you just heard. Yesterday, a convoy with aid from UNHCR reached Nangarhar. This is the second convoy of relief items that have entered Afghanistan through the Torkham border crossing since August 15th. I think Iftikhar was asking about border land convoys yesterday. Elsewhere, the World Food Programme's seasonal food assistance continues with 1 month worth of food being provided to vulnerable families that have been previously assessed. In the last week, assistance reached 5,726 people in Kunduz City, 392 people in Pul El Kumri, and 2,500 people in Takhar. And in anticipation of high food needs and further disruptions of supply chains, WFP has also pre-positioned food and other stocks at strategic border points in Pakistan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan. A logistics hub is being established in Uzbekistan, in Termez. And as you know, yesterday, more than $1.2 billion in humanitarian development aid was announced thanks to the generosity of member states at the high-level event on Afghanistan, which the Secretary General chaired. I should add he should be landing back in New York shortly. This includes funding for the flash appeal and regional response. We stress that pledges now need to be dispersed quickly so that the UN and humanitarian partners, including national and international governmental organizations, can move quickly to turn funds into food, healthcare, and protection for Afghan children, women, and men in need. And today marks the 1 month anniversary since Haiti was struck by 7.2 magnitude earthquake. The quake left 2,247 people dead, 12,763 people injured, and 650,000 people in need of emergency assistance. As a reminder, more than 136,000 houses were damaged or destroyed. The government of Haiti, the UN Disaster Assessment and Coordination Team, and some 141 humanitarian partners have upped capacity to provide assistance to impacted people. Despite access constraints and gang violence along the main supply route, some 26 convoys from 45 humanitarian partners reached the population in the south. The food security partners have also reached more than 143,000 people to date with food and cash-based transfers and have served more than 130,000 hot meals in Grand Anse, Nip, and Sud departments of Haiti. Nearly 2 million liters of safe drinking water reached 250,000 people. 114,000 non-food items and kits have been distributed, and 11 emergency medical teams have been installed across all 3 impacted departments. Priority is now on the most vulnerable people in rural areas, as well as the restoration of basic services, including health and education. Classes are scheduled to resume on October 4th in the 3 most impacted departments of the country. $4 million in allocation from the UN Central Emergency Response Fund was approved on September 9th by the Emergency Relief Coordinator, Martin Griffiths. The 2021 Humanitarian Response Plan for Haiti, which aims to assist 1.5 million people, seeks $235 million and is currently only 16% funded. On Thursday, at the briefing, we will have Bruno Lemarquis, the humanitarian coordinator for Haiti, and he will be joined by Giuseppe Loprete, the head of the IOM mission in Haiti. Back here at 3 p.m., the Secretary General will speak at the closing of the 75th session of the General Assembly, and he will discuss how the session was held under the shadow of a formidable foe, the COVID-19 pandemic. The Secretary General will also talk about how this has been the most challenging period facing the world since the Second World War, and he will pay tribute to the departing president, Volkan Bozkır, and that member states are to consider. After that, the member states are to consider the election of Abdullah Shahid of the Maldives for president of the 76th session of the General Assembly. Once that has happened, the Secretary General will speak at the formal opening of the 76th session, and we'll talk about the need to persevere in dealing with COVID-19, the continued effort to implement the Sustainable Development Goals, and the urgency of living up to bold climate targets at COP. And we are delighted to welcome back Monica Grayley as the spokeswoman for the president of the 76th session. You will have seen that yesterday we issued a statement in which the Secretary General noted the international community has a vital opportunity to help advance the vision of the 2030 Agenda by transforming how we produce, process, and consume food, stressing that a well-functioning food system can help prevent conflict, protect the environment, and provide health and livelihoods for all. In food, there is hope, he added. As leaders prepare for the historic Food Systems Summit on 23 September, the Secretary General is urging everyone to come with ambitious commitments to feed hope for a better future. He emphasized that this is our moral imperative to keep our promise to achieve the SDGs by 2030. And the head of the UN Office for West Africa and the Sahel, Mohamed Saleh Anadif, was in Guinea's capital, Conakry, yesterday. The objective of the mission was to listen to the assessment of political and diplomatic actors about the situation following the political change that occurred on September 5th in order to contribute to a resolution of the current crisis that would guarantee peace and stability in Guinea. He met with the head of the Comité National de Rassemblement et de Développement, the CNRD, and that is the head of the CNRD is Lieutenant Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya, as well as other members of the CNRD. He also had meetings with leaders of the main political parties, representative of the international community, and the UN country team. In his exchanges, Mr. Anadif stressed the importance of ensuring the stability and unity of Guinea, as well as protection of human rights, and adding that the UN, in coordination with ECOWAS, will accompany the people of Guinea as they work towards a swift resolution of the current crisis. A couple of Covax updates to you from Latin America. In recent days, Colombia has received 3 million doses of vaccines to support the country's national vaccination campaign. That brings the total number of doses Colombia has received through Covax to more than 5 million. On Sunday, Paraguay received 300,000 donated by Spain. We thank them. And over the weekend, Nicaragua received nearly 200,000 doses, also donated by Spain through Covax. This brings the total number of doses Nicaragua has received through Covax to more than 800,000, with more on the way. The Pan American Health Organization, together with other UN and national partners, is coordinating the logistics of deliveries of vaccines throughout Latin America and the Caribbean. And throughout the region, our teams continue to help authorities address the multiple impacts of the pandemic, especially in the most impacted and vulnerable groups, including indigenous peoples, women, migrants, and refugees. Just a last note, tomorrow at 9 a.m., there will be a hybrid press briefing on the high-level dialogue on energy, which is a virtual summit convened by the Secretary General that will take place on the 24th of September. Speakers will be the co-chairs of the high-level dialogue. That's Akim Steiner, head of UNDP, and Damilola Ungumbiyi, the special representative of the Secretary General for Sustainable Energy for All. At 11 o'clock, there will be a background briefing for you by by Selwyn Hart, my good friend, Selwyn Hart, who heads the SG's climate team, and that's in advance of the climate meetings on Monday next week. And at noon, I will be joined virtually by Richard Kozul-Wright from the UN Conference on Trade and Development to present the UNCTAD Trade and Development Report 2021. I will take a few questions before our friends, Mr. Pertz, is ready to go to the stakeout. Ms. Lederer.
A quick question on Guinea. What you basically said what the discussion was, but nothing about the outcome. Is there any resolution to this that the UN is trying to push?
I mean, the resolution that we would like to see is, of course, a return to democratic rule in Guinea. There are, as I understand it, and as I've seen, a number of internal national consultations going on this week. Señorita.
Thank you, Steph. I have a question. So the Secretary General just recently spoke about the need of vaccinating the world, 70% of the world by next year. The Washington Post posted an article this morning saying that the President Biden will be convening a virtual meeting on basically that. It says that it will call on global leaders to make commitment to fight the pandemic, including fully vaccinating 70% of the world by September next year, or at least by 2022. Is the coordination between those efforts for next week, understanding that the President Biden will be physically here at the UN, is said, according to the article, the meeting will be on Wednesday, which is with that frame time of the.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Of course, we're speaking to our friends in Washington. I don't have confirmation of the Secretary General's final program for next week, but I'm sure he will participate in one way or another. We very much welcome the announcements that were made recently by the United States, which led to a great increase in Covax vaccines available through Covax, and I note that other countries have also done so recently.
Do you hope that it might be an announcement at the end of?
I mean, we what we hope is for a much fairer world in terms of vaccine equity. We hope that those who live in countries with very few vaccines will get those vaccines and get them quickly. It is important for them, for those people who don't have them, but it is important for the planet as a whole, so that we are able to stomp out this virus together. Otherwise, we're going to keep getting different mutations. Okay. Do I see a question? See, we will make an announcement about Mr. Pertz as soon as he comes out. That should be shortly.